oh, I'm getting older now, it's so hard in our 20s. No, it doesn't have to be. Detach your mindset from thinking of this thing as, oh, everyone needs to like me, everyone needs to like me. No, everyone does not need to like you. They do not owe it to you, but you owe it to yourself to like yourself enough to give yourself that value and say, you know what, I deserve friends. I deserve to put myself in those situations where I can make new friends, where I feel worthy. And those friends are already yours in the future. Here's how we're going to get them. I'm gonna go to an event now, just meet up with random girls that I've never met before. But we're just gonna have to do it. A lot of the time people will tell you to do things, but they won't actually do it themselves. But here I am proving to you that you can do it by yourself. Welcome to Waves Unleashed, and I'm about to unleash some waves on you. If you find this video is such a hidden gem. Everything I talk about is so useful. The worst thing that you can do is catastrophize your life and tell yourself, you know, I don't have enough friends, no one likes me, it's a me problem. I'm gonna help you. I've made a list, I have got points, and we're gonna do this together, because one thing about me is I come prepared, and if I'm going to complain about something, best believe I'm gonna find the solution. I'm turning 25 next month. I really realized that I am not making enough time to make more friends, and I'm complaining about it. I'm complaining in my head. It's affecting my self-confidence. I make friends a lot, but I don't put enough effort in maintaining those friendships or seeing those people or making enough effort to really let that friendship grow into something. I don't have a group of friends that I could just be like, do you want to go to the pub? Do you want to go do this? Do you want to go for a picnic in the park? I don't have that, and I want that. And if you're watching this, then you might want this too. So we're going to get into it. We're going to do this together, put ourselves out there, and you're going to come on this journey with me so we can make friends, grow, cultivate better friendships into our life, and also just become the best version of ourselves. So if that sounds good to you, follow this channel. So let me talk about it. There's so many reasons as to why you could not be making friends, but the real issue is you're not putting yourself in those situations, because the more we put ourselves in these situations, the more comfortable we get, and the more comfortable we get, ultimately, the more we're going to want to do it. Like anything in this life, we're going to get what we put in. If you put a lot of time into a business, you're more likely for that business to succeed. If you put a lot of time into taking care of your health and your body, you're more likely to feel confident. It's the same with this. If you put a lot of time into putting yourself out there, meeting new people, getting in those rooms, getting into those conversations, even if you feel uncomfortable, you're more likely to make friends. So we need to do the work. So I need you to change your mindset from, oh, there's something wrong with me, or I'm never going to make friends. It's all these feelings of being invalidated in your past, where people maybe didn't want to be friends with you, or you didn't find the right friends, and then maybe that's affected how you think that you're not worthy of friendships, or maybe you've lost a lot of friends, or a lot of people were fake to you. For me, for example, I've had a lot of people that they really misplaced my trust. It made me not want to trust new people as easily. But whatever the reason is for you, you need to understand that it's holding you back by just living in these limiting beliefs of how people are and how you are, when really these are just separate situations. We need to step out of it and stop complaining and start thinking about what we can do. If you really want new friends, if you really feel lonely and you are watching this video, you need to take away your past experiences, your past emotions, your past feelings of being invalidated, your insecurities, and understand that this is a journey that you need to go on, and you need to step out of it. Because the more you live in your head and those past experiences, you're never going to get what you want. You're never going to get what you desire. This is the same with manifestation. You will not get what you want if you are living in a state of lack. And right now you're living in a state of lack because you feel like you can't have friends, when those friends are already yours in the future. Another thing I really want to quickly say is that I was watching a video the other day, and this therapist said that our brain adapts. It's called neuroplasticity. So for example, in the first few months of lockdown, we all missed social connection. You know, we were used to going to work. For myself, I was at university all the time. I was used to seeing people, lots of different friends I would see. So then the first 2 months when we were locked away, we're away from people, we don't know how to deal with this new situation. It's uncomfortable, but then your brain gets used to it. And now it's the other way around. This has happened to a lot of people since COVID, for example. Could just happen to you for whatever reason. You have gotten used to the feeling of protecting yourself and staying indoors. And it's not just you, it's neuroplasticity. It's not your fault. Your brain has adapted to try and keep you safe, to think that this is, you know, the normal. You've done this for so long to protect yourself that you think it's normal to not put yourself in these situations. So now you get scared, anxious, feel like people are judging you, feel awkward when you're around too many people. I know so many people that I've spoke to that said this. Even someone very close to me said, no, I was feeling like I was getting really confident in like 2019, 2020. Then all of a sudden I'm back to how I was before. It goes through waves in our life, but we need to be doing the work to sustain this, and we need to put ourselves out of our comfort zone to adjust the neuroplasticity within our brain. So we're going to do that. Now you know exactly what kind of mindset you need to go into this with. I'm going to start with what we're going to do, and I've made a plan, I've made a list. We're going to do this together. You've got this, and we're going to make friends. I believe in you. Okay, the first rule is events. We're going to focus on finding events. Now, I've made a list of different events that I want to meet people at. One of the things that you could do is online apps. So there's things like Bumble Friends. Now, I know a lot of people might feel quite cringe about using online apps and meeting friends, and it feels quite forced. But in this day and age, there's nothing wrong with it. Let me tell you something. I met my boyfriend on Hinge, and before I used to think online dating was so awkward, so, you know, it's not authentic. I'd rather just run into you in person. My friend said to me once, years ago, this is before I met my boyfriend, she said, now this relates to friends as well, but she said, and the only difference is these people are here saying, hey, I'm looking for this thing too. This person person is saying, hey, I'm looking for something too, I'm looking for this type of connection too. And that's where you need to kind of put your pride aside and stop thinking of it as some awkward thing. I downloaded Bumble Friends and I've made friends on there before. You would never just look at one person and be like, okay, that person's bad, so that means everyone else in the world is bad. It's the same with friendship apps. If you have a bad experience with someone, they're just not for you. You're not for them. That's fine. Not every connection is meant to work. You want good friendships. Sometimes you need to realize what you don't want. Understand that this is a process of finding friends, and don't be afraid to put yourself out there. And maybe sometimes it won't go well, but don't be afraid of these apps. There's an app called Bumble Friends, so Bumble BFF, and you can match with different people. You can also create groups on that. There's something called Meetup, and you can find like meetup events with different people in your area, or like in London, for example, where I'm from. You can also look on Eventbrite, where they post a lot of events. A lot of the time they can be like smaller events for people. Like I found some random event the other day and it was like poetry in Hyde Park, and I was like, you know what, I need to expand my horizons if I want to make more friends. Like I need to get out of my head of thinking, oh, that's not for me, I don't know if I'm like these people, oh, friendship apps, this feels too forced. Get out of your head and just do it. Sometimes your thoughts are the thing that's stopping you, and a lot of people that make a lot of friends in this life, I've noticed, they just put themselves in those situations. I used to put myself out there even more than I do now. That's the first step. Take away your judgment of, you know, apps, events. You need to expand your horizons. You need to look in different places. You need to look at events online. You need to look at different apps. You need to look at different meetups that might be going on in your area. Do the research and you will actually benefit from it. Now, the next point is a little bit less forced if you see the first point as more forced, which I think you need to change your mindset around that. But this next point is focus on going to clubs. Now, this could be a club for a game that you like, a sport. If you want to try a sport, if you've even had a thought in your head, I want to try tennis, one day I want to try dancing, or one day I want to try ice skating, do it. I wanted to try tennis. I went to a tennis class the other day. Bear in mind, I was younger than all the people that were there, so I was making conversation with them. They were giving me nothing back. Maybe they just need their walls broken down, but either way, I would not let that affect me going to another club and making friends with people, going to another club and talking to people. And that comes into my point that I will be talking about in a minute about rejection, and that you need to let go of rejection. Okay, anyway, back to the clubs. Focus on putting yourself in situations where you can meet people, where they have similar interests to you, so then it's already an icebreaker there. For example, I went to Pilates the other day. I actually spoke about this in one of my videos before about social anxiety, but I was feeling socially anxious and I just spoke to a girl there. We exchanged numbers, we were talking, we spoke about going to other classes together. So that leads on to the next point, which is make a list. Make a list, and I'm going to show you my list now, because when I tell you, this will help you so much. So as I said, to make events, I've made an event list here, and we've got my meetups in the area. We've got like night outs. I've got a night out section. I've got live music events that I could go to because I really love live music. I'm actually a music artist myself, if you guys didn't know. Leo Waves on all platforms. Did other nights out, like meetups, social nights out, comedy nights out, just so many different things. I made a list. I'm very extensive with the way that I like to plan things. Honestly, I never used to be like this, and this is another reason why I made this channel for you guys, so that I could share the tips of how I've changed my personality. Because when I tell you, I used to be so lazy like 3 years ago, and now if I have a problem, I say, okay, well, what do I need to do? How do I break this down? How do I look at this more logically? Because there's no point spending your whole life complaining about how you don't have friends, how you don't have what you want, when you're not willing to just do the things that will take you there. And maybe someone might look at this and be like, that is so cringe that you made a whole list to make friends. No, it's not. No, it's not. The people that say that are the people that are just complaining about their friends that they have now because they can't put themselves out there and making new friends. Those are the people that are always judging others, and they don't understand that you don't need to worry about being cringe in this life. Sit there, make your little list, make it cute, make it aesthetic. I called my list the social butterfly list because that's what I want to become. I want to get out of my comfort zone and stop being in my own way. So make a list, make it aesthetic, and come up with different themes for it. So you could have sports clubs that you want to join, and make a list and look in your area. Pub nights, you know, there's quiz nights at pubs and stuff, and you can just turn up to one. There's party nights, ticketed parties, and you could just go there and meet loads of people. Some of these things you can literally go on your own. As long as you feel safe, do some of these things on your own. And that leads me to my next point, which is do not rely on others for company when it comes to making friends. Do not rely on your friends to come to every single event, to every single networking event, every single party or club that you might want to join, anything that you want to do. If you want to meet new people, you cannot be relying on having someone there as a safety blanket, because your neuroplasticity needs to change, right? So that's only going to happen if you put yourself in situations where you are actually taking the plunge. Sometimes it will feel very scary, but you will adapt, and you might go up and down. One day might be really good, another day might be hard. You might turn up somewhere and think, okay, this event, I thought this was going to be different in my head. Like when I went tennis the other day, they didn't give me the vibe that they really cared about any conversations I was trying to start with them. But I'm not going to let that put me off. I'll just go to another place with tennis. Don't let the rejection of anyone stop you, and do not let the fact that you will be rejected on your own, for example, you won't have someone there to hold on to as being something that stops you in your mind, go there. And if you get rejected, or you don't get invited into conversations, or you don't feel like people are giving you exactly what you want back, then just say, okay, cool, they're not for me. On to the next one. Detach your mindset from thinking of this thing as, oh, everyone needs to like me, everyone needs to like me. No, everyone does not need to like you. They do not owe it to you, but you owe it to yourself to like yourself enough to give yourself that value and say, you know what, I deserve friends. I deserve to put myself in those situations where I can make new friends, where I feel worthy. And that will actually increase your confidence the more people that you come into contact with, when you actually realize it's not as scary as you think. Now, lastly, I'm going to talk about some examples just to kind of bring this to life for you guys, because honestly, this works. And I'm saying this from someone that has kind of reverted back to, you know, trying to keep myself safe. My neuroplasticity has changed. I've become more comfortable not seeing people as much and not cultivating more friendships. But the way I used to be, I have made a lot of friendships this way, so I already know that this works. I know enough to know that even if I do get rejected, it's okay. I literally made friends with 2 of my good friends from uni just by going up to them. Like on the first day, I literally just went up to these girls and I was like, hey, look, I don't know what to do, I'm just standing here. And I remember my friend was like, after she got to know me that day, she was like, I actually loved you so much, I thought you were so cool. And she's still one of my best friends to this day. The other girl, I've been on holiday with her, she's one of my really good friends. And you know what, it's funny because there's been other situations where I've gone up to people and people have said, oh, she's too much. I'm not for those people that think I'm too much in that situation, because I simply put myself out there. You don't need to be anything other than yourself. Even if you might, you know, feel like you're performative or whatever, that's fine. If you feel like you're coming into yourself a little bit and you're a bit more less than you usually are, that's fine. As long as you try, the more you do it, the more easier it will get. So just keep doing it, keep trying, and keep going up to people. I made another friend when I was a lifeguard. I had a training day and I was like 18, and I met this girl there. We were laughing, cracking jokes the whole time when we were doing the swim tests in the pool with another girl as well. In the changing rooms afterwards, there was 3 of us, and I said to both the girls, we should all go out one day, like we should all hang out. Like, I feel like we all got on today, why don't we just hang out? One girl, who's still my good friend to this day, she was like, yeah, like let's do it. The other girl said yeah, but she didn't respond when I tried to arrange it. But the other girl did, because she got it. She was like, oh, this is cool, like I'm willing to put myself out there. Can you imagine if I only just connected with that one girl and the other girl wasn't there, and then she did exactly what she did where she just didn't respond? I would think, oh, I shouldn't have done that. But it just depends on the type of person you're talking to. So you have to always do it, because you can always make a friend in these situations. I made friends with that girl, she's still my friend now 5 years later. You never know how many quality friendships you can make just by going up to someone, talking to someone. Don't be afraid. And I know it's hard, and we're going to do this together. I'm going to go and do some stuff on my list this weekend. Hello girlies, boys, whoever's watching this, I'm giving you a quick update of everything that's happened in the past 2 days. When I tell you, it's been 2 days of putting myself out of my comfort zone, meeting new people, putting myself in situations that I wouldn't normally, and doing it on my own. I didn't rely on anyone else to be there with me, to be a safety blanket. I made sure to do things that, you know, my heart was racing and I was telling myself, I can't do this. And this is what the mind does to you. It plays tricks on you. It will tell you that you can't make friends when you actually can, and you just need to teach yourself this. I went to an event on Friday. I'm going to insert a clip of me here. Instead of just talking about it, I'm going to do it. Lead by example. I'm going to go to an event now and just meet up with random girls that I've never met before, and we're just going to hope for the best. But we're just going to have to do it. Go to random events and meet random people. So that's what we're going to do. Step outside your comfort zone. I'm not going to be that person telling you to do it and then not do it myself, because I was literally sitting there like feeling anxious, telling myself, okay, I can't do this. I'm not that person. I don't feel like I can put myself in that mindset. But then when I stepped out of it and imagined that I was already the person that I want to be, which I am, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go do it. It was really spontaneous. Some girls were doing a meetup to make friends, and I was like, you know what? I wasn't feeling very well. I had too much caffeine. I was really jittery and I was getting over this cold, and I didn't really want to go out, and I was starting to tell myself, okay, maybe next weekend when I feel better. But then I was like, what am I going to do? Stay home and just feel like another Friday night of not doing anything, or go out and meet people and stop waiting for when one of my friends has a motive and then I can go see them. Make new friends so you can make your own motives. And I got to this event, right, and I said, hi, I'm here. They saw my message, but no one said anything, so I assume they don't want me there. So I go to the toilet and I regroup, and I'm like, okay, well, I've come all the way here. I'm going to still talk to people. Well, in my head, when I was thinking these girls didn't want me here, which was actually a misunderstanding, but we'll get to that, I said to myself, okay, cool, I'm gonna make other friends. So I stood outside for a second. I got myself a glass of wine and I was like, okay, well, I feel a bit awkward. What do I do? Who do I talk to? Went up to this random group of table and I said, hi guys, do you mind if I sit here? And they were like, oh yeah, sure. And they let me join them, and I explained to them, oh, I was meant to meet up with these people, but they haven't responded. But you know what? I thought, you know what? Let me just put myself out there, make new friends. What are the chances these people are the same age as me? The girl is from the same place as me. The boy does the same job that my boyfriend does. We were all talking and they were trying to meet new people. They were from Vancouver and the guy was French, and they were just trying to make new friends. And then I just go up to them and I made friends, and they were looking to make friends anyway. I invited them to my birthday party after we sat down for a bit. I was like, you guys should come. And then we're texting afterwards. She's literally like, oh, my first party in London. What are the chances? It felt like, I don't know if you guys watched the YouTube channel Yes Theory. You need to watch watch it. But putting yourself out of your comfort zone, you never know who you can meet if you just go over to someone. You never know what could happen. So I was so proud of myself in that moment, because I was like, okay, well, I seized this opportunity. Because when these girls first didn't respond to me and I thought they didn't want me there, I could have gone into a cycle of, why did you do this? Of course they don't want you there, you're being rejected. Or I decided to rewrite the story. I was like, okay, well, I'm here for a different reason then. And then I went up to people. They happened to be just like me, wanting to make friends. I get a call from the girl saying, where are you? I realized that they had not just ignored me, they just saw it. I guess they forgot to reply. Maybe they were busy getting to know each other. I came to the table, spoke to them, and all of them were so lovely. Just like, this is what I mean when I tell you, just go up to people. People reject you, that's their problem. Then they're not your people. The right people will accept you. And if something goes wrong, like in that situation where I did think I was being rejected at first, don't let that stop you from going and speaking to someone else. Now I'm going to give you another example. So I'm going to insert a clip of me going to another event that I went to. Just letting you guys know, if you can hear me, I'm going to another event and I'm going by myself because yesterday went well, going to things on my own. Randomly decided to go to a wellness event for my nutrition business. So we're going by ourselves because you know what? You need to just put yourself out there and try new things and not be worried about what people will think. And I'm literally just going to talk to people and try to network for my business. A lot of the time people will tell you to do things, but they won't actually do it themselves. But here I am proving to you that you can do it by yourself. I'm going to sit on my own at some points and I don't care. You don't need to wish me luck because it's going to be amazing. I walked into the event. I was like, okay, well, what am I going to do now? The first two girls I went over to, I literally said to a girl, I love your outfit. Where's it from? She tells me where it's from. And I said, what brings you guys here? We ended up having a conversation. We got on really well. And then I was... This thing has just fallen and I literally cannot be asked to hang it back up. Guys, can we just act like that did not fall? But I basically said to them, do you want to go get food? We went and got food, we ate together, and then I said, oh, I'm not going to follow you guys around all night, I'm going to go chat to other people, because I was not about to just latch onto the first people I met. I was like, let me keep this going, let me keep meeting people. Now I will tell you one thing, I did meet some people. At first I thought, oh, there's a vibe there, but then they didn't give me anything back. They kind of gave me a look as like, okay, like they made me feel like a bit rejected. I'm not gonna lie, I was by myself, I felt rejected, but I decided not to let that get to me, and I just went to the next people. I went to the next people. I was sitting there and at one point I felt a bit defeated. I was like, okay, well, I don't want to feel like a bed just going over to people constantly. I do want to make friends, but I don't want to be around people too long that, like, you know, they feel like I'm following them. So I was sitting by myself at one point and I was just like, okay, like, let me think of my next steps. American girls were walking past me and I just looked up and I went, are you guys American? Yeah, like they were talking in their American accent, and then I was just like, I love Americans. They said, oh, we're about to go to a concert, but you can walk with us for a bit. I walked with them. I started telling them I'm a nutritionist. One of the girls said she's a nutritionist and we all got so excited. Genuinely, I made a connection. That's what I was there for, and I made friends. So it's like, you just have to put yourself in these situations, even if you feel scared, even if you feel like, why would I do that? Do it. Anyway, I want to hang this thing back up because it's gonna annoy me. I feel like this video is literally such a hidden gem. It's so useful and underrated information that I'm just dropping here for free as someone who is in my 20s, wants to make more friends, and I know how this works because it's worked for me in the past and I want it to work for you. And you're not on your own, we're in this together. Welcome to Waves Unleashed, and I've just unleashed some waves on you.